So Avengers just released their new raid Discordant Sound, and this being the most mechanically challenging and difficult content in the game, we're going to be going over the raid mechanics and teaching you how to do them so that you can get through this new content. Starting off with the opening of the door, as well as the first boss fight and the first main puzzle of the raid. When you start the raid, you'll be dropped outside of the Vibranium Mound, and you'll need to defeat waves of enemies in order to open up the door. This is simply a test of crowd control abilities, as you must last until Okoye drops in and tears down the sonic barrier. Once the barrier is down, you will then advance into the first boss room, being the Command Crawler, a giant robotic spider. The fight's rather simple. Once the Command Crawler drops into the room, damage should start immediately. Once he takes around 15 to 20% damage, he'll go invisible and have you fight against both the Hunter and Scout Crawlers for wave 2. The boss will then show back up, and he'll go invisible again for a second time once he gets to around 20 to 25% remaining health, and you need to take out more crawlers. One of the major attacks you have to avoid is the bomb attack, which will pin you onto the ground for a while, allowing crawlers to rush you and do a large amount of damage. Crawlers will spawn in during the damage phase after the first invisibility, providing you with something to pay attention to. The fight, however, is rather easy and it should not take you too long. Following the fight, you'll be taken on to the first puzzle room. The first puzzle room is a room with wide space and a sound wall directly in front of you. A raised section on the floor has 3 buttons, and throughout the room there will be 3 plates to stand on. One on the left right next to the buttons, one on the right side of the room behind a wall, and one on the upper floor to the right side of the room. To progress into the next area of the raid, 3 players must step on the plates at the exact same time and allow the ring of the said plate to charge up. Once all 3 are charged, the 4th player must press on all 3 buttons on the left side of the room, activating a vibranium cannon which will knock down the wall. Once the buttons have been activated, the 3 players that stood on the plates must run to where the buttons are to enter a protective bubble that will spawn to shield the players from an explosion. However, a wrinkle could slow things down a bit. Once you enter the room, an invisible timer will begin counting down, and once it gets to around 7 to 10 seconds, the room will slowly begin to turn red. And once the timer reaches 0, an explosion will happen, wiping the players. To survive this, the characters must hide behind an object with a large enough shadow to protect yourself. For our team, standing in the shadows in the back of the room gave us the best chance of surviving. Repeat the plate and button combo 2 more times after the first in order to finish the encounter. Then enter the tram, pass the wall to continue on to the next part of the raid.